Madison.
Tell me how you're feeling right now real quick. Oh, I'm terrified.
You know, my husband called me and he was crying, so that's why I was so scared.
3 are dead, and multiple others are in the hospital right now.
All student survivors have been reunified with their parents.
Team coverage begins now on the shooting at Abundant Life Christian School.
Good evening. We begin with new information we just learned in the last few minutes. A heavy police presence on Madison's north side is connected to the school shooting investigation today. We are following this breaking news story as tragedy strikes Madison. It's something a parent never wants to hear. A school shooting. That shooting happened at Abundant Life Christian School just before 11 a.m.
3 people are dead. Multiple are dealing with life-threatening injuries at this hour.
We do have team coverage of today's shooting, including reaction from parents and community members. But we begin with our Elizabeth Wadis, who has been at the scene all day. Elizabeth.
Lee, I'm just a few blocks away from the school. An update from 5, they have opened this road. Now traffic is flowing freely in both directions. But I want you to take a moment right now. Close your eyes and picture you're back in grade school. It's the Monday before Christmas break, and you're so excited for the holiday. But now your classroom is a crime scene.
Ambulance, squad car, fire engine.
Abundant Life Christian School, abundant with first responders.
I never saw so many squad cars. I didn't know there were that many squad cars in Madison.
Everyone rushing in to make sure the threat is over.
I would have never thought it would have happened in Madison, let alone at our school here, ALCS. So it's shocking.
As of Monday evening, 3 dead, 6 others in the hospital. Bethany Hyman's child made it out safely.
My daughter goes here, and my nieces and nephews, my sister.
No students in the school now. They were rushed out, many to the church next door. Police now combing through what once was classrooms turned deadly crime scene.
You pray. I pray with my kids every morning that this won't happen, and it's the world that we live in, and but God is good, God is gracious, and my kids are safe.
Bus after bus, students are taken from a place that once was a place of safety and peace back to be reunited with their parents, who are thankful to be the parents picking up their kids from the buses instead of the ones who don't get to do the same. What are you going to be praying for tonight?
For the kids that are still alive and shot, for their best outcome. The tragedy of all what the other kids have seen, the kids saw this and heard this, right before Christmas.
Now, I was on scene all day long, and in between our live shots reporting valuable information for our community, I was looking for the helpers on scene. When there's a tragedy, we often find them if you really look hard, and I found some today. People from the community delivering water bottles to first responders and students, and also pizza, different things coming in, sandwiches, and also we saw a parade of service dogs coming to take care of those children as well. We will continue looking for the helpers and bringing you the very latest information. But for now, live in Madison, Elizabeth Wadis, WMTV 15 News.
Elizabeth, thank you. And I do want to update everyone that we did learn from Chief Barnes about 15 minutes ago that 2 of the 4 with non-life-threatening injuries have been released from the hospital.
That is good news there, but it has been a long day, of course, for parents at the school, just waiting to reunite with their children.
Our Mark McPherson is live now with their side of the story.
Yeah, we learned from the chief just minutes ago that the reunification process is complete. All students that survived this shooting tonight have been reunified with their parents today. It has been a very busy day. Let's take a look at some video from earlier in the day here at Dean Clinic. A steady stream of city buses were taking students from the school here to Dean Clinic, where they were meeting with their parents. They started with the youngest children and worked their way to the older children. And it took a long time today. It took hours. The chief mentioning earlier today, they don't just want to get the kids here. They want to make sure everyone is accounted for in this process, and that's why it took so long. About an hour ago, we spoke with a mom who is reunified with her 3 sons. She talked about how long it's going to take for her sons to recover from this. She also vented frustration, just the feeling that her kids aren't safe.
This is not okay. If your kids are at school, they are not okay. If they are at church, they are not okay. If they are outside, elsewhere, they are not okay. Well, where are they going to be safe?
Now, the reunification process is complete for students and their parents, but the chief did mention that process is still going on for the teachers and staff at that school. Not all of them have been reunited with their families just yet because he said they selflessly stayed back at the school to help. We'll keep you updated on when that process is complete. Reporting live in Madison, Mark McPherson, WMTV 15 News.
Mark, thank you. And that press conference that Chief Barnes called at about 5:30, although it started late, is ongoing. So we're going to take you out to Fire Station 14, where Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes continues to take questions.
She gave her statements, which I thought were very appropriate. We're going to do multiple press conferences, and so we want the focus to be on information for the community that's going to come from the police department. So that is what I will tell you. She was here earlier, and maybe you missed it, but she was here. And I also want to say that I do not know that. I do not know that, but I do know she was here when we had our main press conference. Additionally, we have been receiving a lot of calls. I was on the phone with the Attorney General, Merrick Garland. I know we did receive a call from the President and his office and several others from around the state, including the governor. And so we thank them for their interest in that.
Okay, Mills from News Nation.
This is for Barbara. Do you guys have a school resource officer? And then also, too, is the school 1 level, 2 level? When you walk in, what's that look like? Is that all right?
Sure.
The school looks like.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 levels.
Sure. So we do not have a school resource officer. Again, as a small school, that is outside of our possibilities right now. We are a 2-level school, so there's 2 tiers to us. We are shaped as a giant L. We have a main entrance through that is secured during the school day. So anyone coming in after school hour, when school starts at 8:05, would need to buzz in and be let in.
All right, I'll let Chief Barnes close us out, and then we'll be back at 8:30.
So again, I want to thank everyone for being here, Chief, everyone for all the support. This has been really a day of collaboration, a day of preparation, a day in the making that we hoped would not happen. Again, as someone who was a former public school teacher, teaching history for 4 years in a public high school, as someone who's a father, this is a tough day for me. It's a tough day for our community. It's a tough day for everyone. It's a sad day. It's a day that will be certainly etched in the collective memories of everyone in Madison, and just another example of what can happen in our country. We have to do better. We have to collaborate with each other. We have to understand the warning signs, and we have to use our resources when we see things that may be going wrong or someone who may be going off the beaten path. That's the charge really to our country now. And we have to do a better job of taking care of each other. And so all children have been reunified with their parents. And these children are now the latest group of survivors of a school shooting, this time, unfortunately, in Madison, Wisconsin. We will try to come back around 8:30 with additional information for our 4th press conference of the day. Thank you for being here.
Hearing those remarks wrapped up there by Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes, in addition to a woman named Barbara who was there representing the staff at Abundant Life Christian School. In addition to that, next press conference coming up, and the 2 injured students who have been released. He did reiterate that the 2 students transported in critical condition. As of 12:30 p.m., they are still in critical life-threatening condition. So if you are religious and you want to respond to that school's request for prayers, pray for the 2 students still in critical condition tonight.
We're going to continue with our live coverage. Our crews have been out in the field all day long. WMTV's Marcus Arsvold is on the east side of Madison. Marcus, you're talking with people who live right next to the school. They're all in disbelief right now.
Yeah, it started this morning. They were in disbelief because it was so loud with so many sirens that they could hear going to the school. Then now neighbors tell me it's eerie here because it's so quiet. The silence, they say, is deafening. I spoke to a neighbor who was on a walk when the shooting happened. He says the entire community here wasn't sure what was going on until they saw all of the first responders park at the school. That's when they realized something a community's worst nightmare could be had come true.
It's like something I never wanted to see. I mean, I watch stuff on TV shows and has all this, but that's all fake. This is real.
Will now need to take years to try and support one another as they come to grips with this tragedy. He also says he hopes everyone is able to hug their children tightly tonight. I did want to give a quick update too. The sanctuary is directly behind me. For the first time in hours since this has been going on, we have seen a group of people go into the sanctuary. Most of the day we were seeing children and people come out. So I tried asking law enforcement who's going in, and they were not able to tell me at this time, but we're going to keep looking and asking. Live in Madison, Marcus Arsvold, WMTV 15 News.
And we will continue to follow this breaking story. We have multiple updates planned throughout this newscast. In the meantime, we do want to get to your forecast.
Meteorologist Brian Dukes is joining us now with a check of what's going on in the weather world. Hey, Brian.
Hey guys, yes, looks like things are calming down weather-wise after a little band of some shower activity this afternoon, even a few wet snowflakes kind of mixing in. We're looking at some cloud cover, but also a few breaks, and I wouldn't be surprised to at least see some partial clearing as we head through this evening and overnight. Temperatures are still very mild, upper 30s to low 40s. We're right at 40 in the Madison area, 39 in Janesville. Do want to give you a first alert that the winds will be a little bit breezy between now and midnight. Could have some locally higher gusts to around 30 miles an hour. That will usher in some of the cooler air that will stick around with us, it looks like, for the majority of the rest of the week. But for now, at least through 10 o'clock, temperatures not budging much, mid to upper 30s. After midnight, some of that cooler air will settle in, and it's not 1 but 2 snow chances I'm keeping an eye on between now and the upcoming weekend. Much more on that coming up in your full First Alert forecast.
Dukes, thank you. Reaction to today's school shooting continues to come into our newsroom. Up next, how Madison metropolitan schools are reacting as students hear about a shooting in their community.
Plus, a national expert describes how school resource officials will be responding. You're watching WMTV 15 News at 6. We're live on air and streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.
We're following new information on the school shooting that happened on Madison's east side at Abundant Life Christian School.
We now know a house on the north side is connected to the shooting investigation, which we just heard Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes say that those who are living in that home are cooperating with authorities. Take a look at this video we captured a few hours ago. This is along Delaware Boulevard near Black Hawk Middle School. This is on the north side. We spoke with a neighbor there who says she was coming home and she heard a loud boom.
As soon as I went in the house, I heard a loud boom. I mean, it was a loud boom that shook my house, something like you'd hear on the 4th of July.
We do have a crew headed to that home again on the north side of Madison right now. We will bring you those updates soon. And the shooting today at Abundant Life Christian School also led to a secure status at 9 Madison Metropolitan School District schools.
That's right. MMSD will continue classes as scheduled tomorrow. Superintendent Dr. Joe Gothard says the safety and well-being of students, teachers, and staff is their highest priority. He says comprehensive support resources are available during this challenging period.
The executive director of the National Association for School Resource Officers says it's important to remember that the survivors are sometimes forgotten victims. He says mental health services are going to be heavily needed in the coming days.
Every time, one of these occurs like this, it kind of goes back to that same horrible, sickening feeling. How do we stop this? I think is always the question that's on our minds. What drives someone to do this? What are the measures that we can take?
He adds that families will also need guidance to help the survivors. We'll be right back after this break.
Authorities have been releasing more information throughout the day.
Police Chief Sean Barnes has just wrapped up his third news conference of the day on this shooting. We're going to go now to our Tabitha Bland. She is live with, we're actually going to our State Capitol Bureau Chief Vanessa Kelson, who is telling us more about how lawmakers across the state are reacting to today.
Absolutely. Just about an hour ago, I spoke with with Representative Mark Pocan, who is demanding more action in response to the news of today's tragedy.
I thought it was most poignant today when law enforcement was asked, how come we don't have better security at schools? And the answer was, why should we have to need better security at schools? Nowhere else has the problems that we have in the United States, and we need to do better for those families affected, but for everyone, so that this never happens again.
There are only a few days left of this congressional session before a new, more conservative Congress is sworn in next year. Here in Wisconsin, our state legislators will be sworn in for the start of their next session on January 6th. For now, live in Madison, Vanessa Kelson, WMTV 15 News.
And now, your first alert forecast from 15 News.
Well, gloomy weather today. Looks like the active weather will stick around, and I do want to give you that first alert to the next big thing I'm keeping an eye on. Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, quick hitting light snow event. We're only expecting a ½ inch to an inch, but it's the timing that could be problematic. This would lead into the morning commute Wednesday morning, so you may want to allow a few extra minutes and just pack your patience. We all know what a little snow can do as you're heading out the door early in the morning. This could be the first of 2 snow events as we head through the upcoming week. I'm also keeping an eye on Thursday and the Friday. I have those both days highlighted in red there for that messy road condition potential, and then much colder as we head into the weekend as December has been going. A lot of ups and downs. Looks like we're going to head back into another cold snap with perhaps warmer weather once again returning as we head a little bit closer to Christmas, which would not be great news for those hoping for a white Christmas. Of course, we'll keep an eye on this and have updated totals as we move through the evening. For now, though, that's a look at your first alert forecast. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
And we did learn some new information in that third press conference this evening.
Now, WMTV's Tabitha Bland is live with the latest. Tabitha.
Yeah, well, I'm still at Station 14 on Madison's east side. It's about 2 miles. It's on Dairy Drive, about 2 miles from that school. And we heard from Chief Barnes. We found out some more information here tonight. There will be another presser at 8:30, and it is likely that they will release the name and gender of the shooting suspect at that presser. That is the newest information that we have found out. We also found out that there are non-life-threatening injuries for 2 students and a teacher, and 2 of them have been released from the hospital. A lot of the talk that's been happening here today is about the response that happened, as well as what the city is doing to look forward.
Of course, it's about safety. That's the first thing.
And security. Police Chief Sean Barnes says that's the forefront of the police response that started at 10:57 a.m.
When officers arrive on the scene, they immediately go in, which we did in this case. Stop the threat, stop the killing, find the killer.
But the search for motive continues through speaking with witnesses.
That will give us an idea of not only what unfolded, but it could answer the question to motivation.
Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway says the next few days are in the hands of the community.
Our entire community needs to be part of the solution here.
Injuries endured extend beyond physical wounds.
We know that this was the middle of the day, of a school day, and so there will be other injuries that we'll have to face for a very, very long time. And we're going to do everything we can as a community to heal those injuries as well.
Reach out, to 988 by phone or text and to get the mental health support that they need. It is incredibly important that we take care of our community in this very difficult time.
And as we continue to learn more information, there has been a serious push by everybody that's been speaking here today about the importance of mental health. Again, there will be another press release, another press conference happening here at 8:30 p.m. tonight. We are going to keep here. We are going to stay here. We are going to find out more information, all of the questions that everyone is asking. For now, in Madison, Tabitha Bland, WMTV 15 News.
Tabitha, thank you. A heads up if you have kids going to school tomorrow. I do. If you see an increased police presence, know that that is precautionary. We've had multiple districts tell us that. I want to say thank you to law enforcement, to our first responders, to the medical staff who worked on those kids, to the teachers who help all of our students.
15 News is streaming on all your devices. Powered by TDS. 15 News. Connected to you.